What's up, crypto gang? Welcome back to another episode. If you guys are new here, we do a giveaway at the beginning of every single episode, and today's winner is Gogo. Thanks so much for commenting on the previous video, Gogo. I just sent you some crypto. In this episode, I talk about what an initial exchange offering is. Over the past couple of years, ICOs, or initial coin offerings, have been a very big trend, a mega trend in the cryptocurrency space, where effectively a team comes together, they create a smart contract that says the terms of their token, and they sell it wide and openly to pretty much any investor that's interested in supporting their idea with a white paper that describes their idea. And when this happened over 2017's year of just absolute mayhem in the market, we saw a big pump in price. It was people that were moving and reallocating their assets across the board into these smart contracts and really just pumping the entire market. In the past, I've talked about STOs, which are security token offerings. This is a whole nother concept where you're purchasing legal equities within a company, and that is something that we can talk about later. For now, we're going to talk about initial exchange offerings. There are a few things I wanted to cover in this video about initial exchange offerings. Just basic overview of what they are, and also how to participate in them, and what the benefits of initial exchange offerings are relative to initial coin offerings. The first ever ICO was in 2013 by Mastercoin. This pretty much opened Pandora's box for developers to collect funds for developing a project in the cryptocurrency space. With the invention of Ethereum by Vitalik, you had this smart contract concept where people could then do ICOs using the rules set by developers on these smart contracts, filling the smart contracts with Ether, and effectively raising millions of dollars from investors internationally. But the most important piece to the difference between an ICO and an IEO, or the initial exchange offering, is the counterparty. So the idea that when a token is minted and put on an exchange for you to participate in that initial exchange offering, there is a vote of confidence that is involved in that token with the exchange. The exchange is managing this entire transaction for its user base. So you have an instant access to investors that are readily available. They have their tokens available on the platform, whether it's Ether or Bitcoin, whatever it may be, and they're ready to contribute to that initial exchange offering. So you have that vote of confidence, you have that user base. The best example for IEOs is definitely the Binance LaunchPad. This is where projects approach Binance and they discuss the terms of what they want to do as far as raising money around their idea, and Binance signs off on them. They put them on this launchpad and effectively launch them into their user base, which is millions of people. The vote of confidence from the Binance team, and you also have a new project that has the potential to list on Binance, the #1 exchange in the world, right away, right out of the gate. The current model when people do an ICO is that they have to spend this long, brutal amount of time trying to find an exchange, pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, to list on the exchange. But now with these IEOs, they are launching those minted tokens and they are listing them right afterwards. So it's the logical next step for liquidity to be provided for the tokens and the contributors. One of the negative things that happened in the space with ICOs was scams. There were a lot of scams that popped up in 2017 that were just trying to acquire as much Ether as possible. And some of them were collecting millions of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars, and just exit scamming was the term applied to them, where they would take it and they would just run off, not do anything, not build anything that they said they would just delete their website and bounce. So that was the negative connotation around ICOs. It made all the headlines. So with these IEOs, you are having that vote of confidence, and it prevents the probability of scams launching these tokens, because they're literally partnering with a binding contract with these exchanges, where the exchanges are saying, we take responsibility for listing this token, and we are going to allow all of our users to contribute and participate in this if they wish to. And when an exchange does that, they're exposing themselves to a lot of risk when you have a new team. So the idea that they are doing their diligence and giving the contributors that layer of protection against something like a random ICO with a smart contract from people that have no names and they're anonymous is a really powerful selling point. On the flip side of being a contributor to one of these IEOs is the teams that are going to be approaching these exchanges to launch an IEO. And what I see as probably the most valuable component to an IEO for a team is the fact that some of these exchanges, if not all the ones doing IEOs, are having a KYC requirement. This means that when you are going to be releasing your minted token on an exchange, you are only allowing people that have gone through a whitelisting and a KYC processing with the exchange to purchase your token. So in addition to your investors being KYC and approved through the exchange actually managing a lot of what's going on with the IEO, from a team perspective, this is a no-brainer compared to the legitimacy that has been taken from the ICO industry, where you have all these scams running off with money. The last component, we've gone through the contributors, what the value is to them. We've gone through the teams themselves that are launching the tokens, what the value is to them. The last one is the exchanges. What the value to exchanges is the transaction fees as well as the amount of attention that these projects will bring. Some of these projects are going to spend millions of dollars raising money through the exchanges, just promoting the fact that they are doing an IEO on an exchange like the Binance LaunchPad. For example, you have something like the BitTorrent Token, BTT, that was launched by Tron. It was a token on their network where they did it on the Binance LaunchPad, and they were everywhere, all over social media. If you know anything about Tron, you know that they are marketing pros. They know exactly how to get attention. Over the short time frame that was live on the Launchpad and now it's listed on Binance Exchange, you had everyone on Twitter, hundreds of thousands of tweets talking about this, and that earned media and that marketing to the exchange is extremely valuable. To quickly review everything that I went over, the investors/contributors, they have a vote of confidence from the exchange for these token projects, and they have a counterparty to help facilitate that IEO for them. So it is de-risked to a certain percentage because there have been so many scams and it's so sketchy investing in ICOs that are controlled just by developers. The second is the teams themselves, what the value is to a team doing an IEO opposed to an ICO. This has to do with the idea that the exchange is vetting their investors. You get access to an instant user base that have cryptocurrency ready to invest in your project. And also you have that next logical step of listing on that exchange that has fulfilled your IEO for you as a team. So you have that instant liquidity and a user base that you can tap right into. And the third and final piece is the value to the exchanges. The exchanges get a massive boost in transaction fees. They get their user base more engaged, and they also get the joint marketing of the IEO from the team that is pushing this out to everyone, which the prime example being the BitTorrent Token and Tron marketing everyone with a pulse into the Binance LaunchPad and learning more about the Binance exchange. I'm really impressed at the way that the market is going. A lot of the ICOs were very frustrating to watch people lose their money in. It was a very negative time for the space, and that's where the graph went up and to the right in 2017, and it was just a cycle. So when you had that go through and people were losing all this money, it really applies a negative connotation to the ICO as well as the entire cryptocurrency space. I'm really excited to see IEOs progress over the next couple of years, as well as STOs. On another note, I'm excited to see exchanges like Binance launching LaunchPad, where they are effectively launching these tokens onto their large exchange. And I'm excited to see other exchanges start to implement these token offerings. I think that it's a really cool next step. It's almost like taking your company public, where you're ringing that NASDAQ bell and you're going live in front of all the shareholders that already have, you know, E-Trade accounts and all that, people that have access to it on the exchange right there. So I love the concept. I love the idea that there is going to be a vetting for both the contributors as well as the teams on both sides of the equation, because the counterparty being the exchange, it is exciting to see them stepping up and actually allowing there to be layers of protection for both the builders and the investors. That's it for this episode. I hope you guys like it. If you did, slap a like. If you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe and check out Grow Your Base with the link in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.